Hi, in this video, I want to share what I drew last week. This is not an art challenge, but just to share what I can draw realistically in a week. If this is your first time here, I'm in my 30s working a full-time job and pursuing art on the side. So here we go. Let's start it off with this small sketchbook. So when I first got this, the intention is to be a travel sketchbook, so I can take it with me whenever I go and then capture moments that way. But I never end up traveling that much, so I just recently picked up this sketchbook and decided to draw more often in it. This page is some quick skull sketches that I drew from this Proco skull. And the jaw can move. There's also a hole in the back where I can screw a tripod on, set it like so, and then I can draw it from life. So comes pretty handy, I would recommend. This page is a drawing from a photo reference I took in Cape Flattery, which is the northwesternmost point of the contiguous United States. Man, it took me a while to learn how to say that. We went there over the Memorial Day weekend, so it's been a while. The view was stunning that day. It's our favorite part of that trip. Overall, I like how this page turned out, but every time when I started drawing, my hands were cold. Then you can tell, like, when I first started, the lines are like really scratchy. But then when I moved further down the page, it got a lot better. And if you compare this with a photo reference, some of the proportions are off, but that's okay. Moving on, we have this tree right here. We came across this tree last week when we went for a short hike along a creek near our place. And then we saw like this tree grow out of the dead trunk, which I thought is very unique and interesting. So I took a photo of it and drew it during the week. Okay, we're halfway-ish through this tree, but it's already 11:38 p.m. So I gotta go to bed and hopefully we'll complete this tomorrow. I've only started to take my own reference lately because sometimes when I want to draw something, then I would go to Pinterest. I would scroll for like 10-20 minutes, but still couldn't find anything that I wanted to draw. So that's when I decided, oh, I need to create my own photo references. Then I don't need to spend a lot of time looking for references. And this is just a really great way to capture the memories in the sketchbook instead of just using the camera. And then I have this drawing of a Bian Bian noodle right here. I was being more experimental on this day, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna take like several different colors of liners and try to do it. But to be honest, I didn't really know what I was doing with all the details. So these are supposed to be like lambs, cabbage, noodles, but I mean, these are now just seems like random marks on the drawing, but it's okay. So I've only recently started to draw more in the sketchbook because I feel like every time I need to get ready for drawing, especially when I need to practice in my large sketch pad, which I'll get to in a bit, I always feel this resistance, like I need to really get ready, need to get my pencil sharpened. I feel like it just needs some mental preparation for me to actually start drawing. But like with this sketchbook, it's just so easy. I can take it with me anywhere. I just need nothing more than a ballpoint pen. So it takes a lot of the resistance away for drawing. And on some days when I have like only 30 minutes to draw, I know it's too short for like a real practice section, but it's really good to just draw something random in the sketchbook and still keep my hands warm. So this is it for this sketchbook. Now let's go to my second sketchbook. You may see this in my other videos as well. So this sketchbook is mainly dedicated for my hat drawing studies this year. So these two drawings, I showed them in my previous video, and this is the only hat drawing I did for this week. Man, I was having a lot of trouble with the lay-in. I think I still have video footage, which I'll show. But this is a little bit more of an extreme angle, which I haven't practiced for a bit. So I had a lot of trouble to get this eye and nose relation to look correct. I think they still can be better, but I tried my best.
Thousand years later.
So overall, I think this turned out okay, so I'm happy with it. Also, I haven't mentioned this in any of my previous video. I'm kind of doing the 100 hat challenge and we are at 45 right now. I'm almost done with this sketchbook, so I think I'll have 50 cats in this sketchbook and I'll do a video about my progress, so stay tuned for that. Okay, now let's move on to this big guy, my sketch pad. So all the drawings in the sketch pad are done using these charcoal pencils. I've been practicing a lot of feature renderings lately, following the Watts Feature and Facial Constructions course. So these drawings aren't from the previous week, these were kind of spread out through the last month, but I also still want to show them. Also, I didn't draw these out of photo references. These are master studies from the Watts instructors page, so I would recommend you check those out. I will link it down below. Okay, starting from this page was my drawings from last week. All of these are still year master studies. There are two challenges I'm having with my rendering. One is my edge always tend to be too hard. Another is that my rendering doesn't really reflect the underlying forms. So I've been mostly working on those two things throughout these drawings. I think I made some decent progress, which we can kind of tell from this page. So here I have the same drawing I did from a month ago-ish. These drawings, I did them following the instructor's demos. Man, I hope this is not that hard to see for the camera. You can see like the edges are still kind of too hard along these places, but here I've softened them quite a bit. And the value control has also gotten better. So yeah, I think there's some progress. And same with these two, I've softened the edge along here quite a bit. So yeah. And then these four here, I did them off of photo references. We can also have some comparisons here. So these were from the same photo references. To be honest, when I was doing this, I was having some trouble with this paper, so that's why the shadow looks so scratchy. But not only that, right? I think there's a good amount of progress from this to this. Okay. Man, I hope the video won't be too chaotic when it comes out. Let's see. Like this versus this, and this versus this. They don't have that big of a difference, I would say, but at least I didn't got worse, I guess. So I'm pretty happy with it. All right, these are the drawings I did from last week. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.